checkered flag in the air.
And he's going to house it.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Angle of Pursuit podcast, your fantasy football, sports betting, and NASCAR home. I'm your host, Kyle Robert. You follow me on Twitter at NotoriousKRO. With me once again to break down our favorite bets for the Toyota Owners 400. It's Brian Twining. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Kyle? Yeah, I'm ready for another race, and I guess you can say I'll never, ever, ever again be picking Joey Logano on any betting market.
Yeah, I was a little nervous when you were texting me about him before the show. I was like, oh no. Yeah. As you can tell, my voice is coming back, but it's still not back, so I still sound pretty crappy. But just ride with me. We'll hopefully cash some winners, as Brian and I did last week. It was a nice week, Brian. It was a real nice week. Let's throw up the old betting card here. We both had our boy Ross Chastain 40-1 hit that outright, baby. Love to see it. Incredible to see number. It. He ran really well. He looked awesome the whole time. We also I bet him to win the Cup Championship at 50-1. Very timely for that. I think you got the same number.
Yes, I tailed you on that one.
All right.
I'm very happy I did at this point.
We're holding that right now. That number is shrank. Yeah.
Like he's like 14-1 now.
14, yeah. So very happy to have that. I should have won even more money. Allmendinger was right there. Oh. He was like number 2, and fucking Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain kind of pinched him, and then he ended up spinning out. And all of those, I was counting those top 5s, top 10s, the head-to-heads. Like, it was done. Like, they were gonna be, my bankroll was gonna go through the moon, and then he's crashing out, and he's finishing, I don't know, 30th.
Yeah.
So that was an incredibly frustrating win. I'm very happy we had the outright. Otherwise, I would have been an absolute wreck after that race. So, very, very unfun to see. We'll look at your bets as well. As you can see, the boss on here, 40-1. Nice little bankroll builder for the week. You had Tyler Reddick for a top 10. That was nice. Obviously, Chastain hit the top 10, and Austin Dillon over Brad Keselowski. Yeah, that was real dumb on my part. So
Brad Keselowski's trash.
Keselowski and Logano just like don't do it for us. So
no.
Yeah. So it was a pretty decent week. It could have been a lot better, but that's where it is. I'm now in the green again. You've hit 2 straight winners. That's good. Despite being a little bit down there, but Byron 2 weeks ago, Chastain last week. It's time to see what we can do this week. I did want to throw up our DraftKings. Another thing that the Dinger crash just completely flipped the slate on its head.
Yes.
This lineup was doing really well, and then Dinger just goes and falls and falls and falls and ends up 33rd.
Boris said finished 26th.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he was good. Solid. Super solid. 4,700.
Man.
So yeah, ended up flipping this slate. A lot of my other lineups actually ended up doing really well. This is my best lineup with Chase Elliott. Larson not doing well kind of killed me. This could have been much better. Byron was good. Chastain was good. Gilliland was good. 40th. Started 29th, ended up finishing 16th. And then Ty Dillon started 33rd, ended up finishing 20th. So those were my nice value plays at pretty low ownership, 5% and 13%. So Larson had done a little bit better. I'd be feeling even better, but
well, I think too, last weekend's race is just another sign at how much the next gen car has kind of leveled the playing field per se, with seeing how both Chase Elliott and Larson kind of struggled pretty much the entire race. I know Elliott did get to the front of the pack near the end of the race, but it took him almost the entire day to do so. So, I mean, like, the car is definitely playing a major role in creating the kind of racing we've seen this year with 6 different drivers to win a race through the 6 first races. Like, this is an incredible season, and it's going to continue to be wacky.
Yeah. I was, we were talking about how qualifying didn't look great for him, and I was thinking, oh, he'll figure it out. But I never really felt like he was in contention, despite running near the front a lot of the race. He found some stuff, and he's obviously an amazing driver, so he's able to pile it together. But it was kind of an underwhelming performance for both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to hit that Chastain outright, and great to keep our winning ways going. Let's go look at the lines as we head to a short track for some fun in Richmond. Elliott is your favorite 8-1 most places. Larson right behind him. Truex, Logano, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, just kind of that 10. Even William Byron kind of 10-1 range. Ross Chastain right there, which is pretty incredible to see. I guess what's your initial read on kind of the early lines and at the top, and kind of, are any of these people potentially getting some of your dollars this week?
I mean, honestly, with the way that things have gone, I really can't find myself going with the traditional favorites at any of these tracks going forward. Like, I'd rather start at William Byron and Ross Chastain outside of that 10-1 number, just with what we've seen, and continue to do what we've kind of been doing each week. And that's peppering the board with the longer shot guys just for smaller units, knowing that a couple of these dudes have been running near the top almost every single race. So like a guy like Martin Truex, who absolutely dominates at this track, he hasn't shown the form on a consistent basis this year to predicate us thinking he's going to do it again this season.
Yeah, Truex is the name that stands out for me just because of his track record and how good he's been. But as you mentioned, this season, he hasn't been like, he's been fine, but he feels a lot like Kevin Harvick last year, where he was never really someone that we wanted to get to. Like, he was always a better top 5 bet. I'm probably going to put him on the card. I have him penciled down right now. But I don't know. Like my history and model and that kind of stuff says this is a good play, but then like how he's ran, I don't know if I can get to him. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. But yeah, I'm with you. It's really hard to get a lot of these. Kyle Busch has actually been really good. And I feel like he is set up to win a race soon. 10-1 is a number I could potentially get to, but it is really interesting to see, the ability of longer shot drivers to win has made the odds board kind of collapse together a little bit more. And instead of having 3 names and then kind of a drop off to a bunch of guys, and it's kind of pushed everyone up, and you won't get a 4-1, but there's also, you're not getting a super huge discount either on Truex or Larson or Chase Elliott. Like, you're not getting a 12 or a 15 or 18.
I mean, Larson at double digits is still very intriguing if they somehow figure out the car, but that's the
I'm ready to see, like, we're gonna, in a couple weeks, we're gonna get like a Logano or a Truex or Kyle Busch at like 22, and it's gonna be mind-boggling, but we're gonna have to play it smart at that point. Ryan Blaney's been the best driver, and he's 13
clearly.
14.
He'll be on the card again. It's coming. The win is coming soon.
I think 14-1 will be on the card. Tyler Reddick here, very interesting. Not doing it with Christopher Bell. Not doing it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
That's funny you say that as I'm adding that number to the card.
Brian, you're a glutton for punishment.
I am, my friend. I am.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it.
It's just one of those things. Like, the bad luck has hit him really hard when he's run well. So like, if you look past the finishing results and the bad luck, I mean, you see a pretty good driver this year. It's just whether or not he can avoid all that crap.
Yep. Chase Briscoe is somebody that is compelling to me. Obviously, his track record at short tracks isn't great, but he seems like he's a different driver this year. He seems like he's in a better car. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, was right there until the very end last week. At 20-1, based on where he is, based on how he's been running, that might be a number that makes the card. I feel like I could bet that at 20, he could have a really nice qualifying, and all of a sudden he's 14, and I'm feeling really, really good about adding that.
Yeah, like we said, like Briscoe is kind of in that mold of those young drivers who have benefited the most from these new vehicles because they have the skill, and it was just kind of getting accustomed to driving the Cup Series car for them against all the veterans who had been running this Gen 6 vehicle for however many years we've had it for. And the reset of the cars has basically reset the field. And now it's just everyone is almost on level playing field. And with Briscoe's driving talent, he's been able to compete near the top almost every single week. So yeah, getting him at 20-1 is a great number.
Yep. Keep scrolling down here as we get into a little bit longer shots. Austin Cindric, 40-1 is a number that is on the card. I'm going to be looking at top 5, top 10 for him as well. Has run well on short tracks in Xfinity, has done well at Richmond in the past, and has obviously been a real factor to start the season. So 40-1 will make the card this week.
Yeah, again, that's a guy who thankfully we already hit that over under half a win. Yep. I still don't know if I can get there with him going over the 1.5. I love the number though. So at 40-1, I would definitely be willing to bet that. But in terms of like his futures markets, I'd probably go under the 1.5, seeing the way that this season's turned out.
Yeah, I'd like to look at the juice. It was juiced to the over after his win. Obviously, it's probably regressed a little bit, but yeah, 40-1 to get a second win versus, plus 150 or even plus 130 or minus 130, like anywhere in there. Like it's just the value isn't quite there. I'd rather just take shots on him to win at a bigger number in places that I feel like he has a good shot. So,
yep.
Obviously not quite as safe, but when you're getting 40 times your reward, it's worth doing. Any of these other names down here interesting to you? Almirola, Daniel Suarez.
I think of those guys, Almirola is a guy who he hasn't necessarily shown like the top flight speed, but if he's able to avoid the crashes that we've seen on week-to-week basis, he's somebody who could potentially sneak in with a top 5 at a pretty large number. I don't know on an outright, but in the top 5 market, he may be a decent value for this week.
Yep. No, I think that makes sense. Yeah, he feels like a guy who's you want to play the safe game with him, not take that top 5, top 10 market, and he's should be a decent number just because of where his odds are going to sit. Nothing else really.
The guy right below him, Austin Dillon, is somebody who's already on my card for a top 10 at plus money. He's 40-1. He's ran pretty damn well here throughout his career. He's been running pretty good throughout this season. He's got a couple of misleading results this year as, dealing with accidents or car problems. But outside of those races, his average finish, I believe, is like right inside that top 10 number. So again, if these guys can avoid contact, you're looking at a driver who offers great value in the placement markets.
So in terms of outrights, who are the drivers that you're potentially backing this week to win the race?
Oh, Blaney for sure.
Yeah.
Again, he'll be on the card every single week until he actually hits. He's been too good for it not to potentially hit eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, Chastain. Are we expecting him to come back
Chastain
to the
or Reddick? Or Christopher Bell, who would you take of those 3?
Man, I mean, just in terms of recent performance, you'd have to think Chastain, but for me, just I like banging my head against the wall. I'm going with the extra juice and Christopher Bell because I think the streak of first-time winners in 2020, or just first-time winners of a race in 2022, is probably going to continue. So for me, I'd go Bell or Reddick ahead of Chastain.
I like Reddick. I think he's on the card. I don't know. I feel like he's been running well. I feel like he's popped at a few tracks, and he's just always priced a little bit higher than you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And that to me says more about where he should be and less about maybe what we've seen in terms of true finishes at this point. You want to slip? Let's flip over and look at DraftKings. Look at some placings. We'll see what they have for us. They didn't have top 10s, which is interesting for DraftKings. I'm guessing they're just the market's where it is right now. But Tyler Reddick, 12. It's interesting, man. It's really interesting.
I mean, he's shown the ability. It's kind of, we've reached that point where we kind of had to throw everything that we've seen in the past out the window and judge everything based on this season alone. And with that being said, like it's not surprising to see Denny Hamlin back at the same number of a Tyler Reddick or a Ross Chastain.
I
don't understand the Ryan Blaney number.
Yeah.
With how good he's been.
He's been so good. That number doesn't make sense. Ryan Blaney top 5 plus 160 is going on the card right now.
Oh yeah, that is a really good number.
Because at plus money for a driver that I trust as much as I trust him, I think makes a lot of sense.
Let's do it. I'm doing it too. Let's roll.
Briscoe top 5 at 2-1 is really compelling. Let's see. Oh, we don't have 10 top 10 market. Let's go over to FanDuel. And it's the top 10 market. Obviously, you're gonna have to pay some heavy prices on some of these guys. Almirola minus 105. Cindric minus 105 made the card already. Almirola is interesting.
Like I said, the Almirola number is one I'm going to be on this week, so I'm going to add that just because I think
Austin Dillon plus 115 to top 10.
Oh, already on there for 2 units, my friend.
Like it. I like it a lot.
That's one of my favorite plays this week.
Interesting that we get the dinger back again. This isn't really his his forte, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs. It's been a rough one for our boy Stenhouse. It's been rough.
Even the awesome paint scheme can't help him. I think an intriguing number is that Christopher Buescher number at plus 550. He finished 10th, I think, at Phoenix. Yeah, he finished 10th at Phoenix, and a lot of people are comparing those two in terms of the kind of racing that we see. So if Buescher can once again avoid his teammate, at 550, that's a great value.
Yeah, that seems like a really good number. What's his? I'm looking up his short track stuff from.
He's not the greatest.
Yeah, that hasn't really. That really hasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Made a difference this year. Let's see here. Go to his details. So Martinsville, he finished 9th. So that's something. If he qualifies well. Yeah,
he's been atrocious here at Richmond, though.
Yeah, he's not been great. Lots of 25s.
But that being said, this year is an anomaly in terms of what we're seeing on track. So,
yeah.
Even Corey LaJoie has a top 5 in 2022. At that point, that just goes to show you with the kind of racing that we're seeing.
Daniel Suarez has looked good. Where is Cole or Chris Buescher? Woof. So he finished 21st last week. He had 7th at Atlanta and 10th at Phoenix. 18th at Vegas. So he hasn't been terrible. He's been pretty okay.
Buescher traditionally is kind of that super speedway or speedway type driver. So, obviously these tracks do not fit his strengths.
Yeah.
But again, he finished 10th in Phoenix, which is kind of it's a shorter track with a lot of off throttle braking. So at 550,
no, it's a good gamble for sure. And he has the ability to pop at certain weeks. Chastain plus 360 to top 3 is kind of interesting. Blaney plus 370 to top 3. I don't hate that.
No. Wow, that's actually really good considering his top 5 number at DK is 160.
Yeah.
So you're getting over double the odds for just 2 more spots.
Yeah, I'm changing my bet to a top 3 at plus 360.
I'm actually going to keep my top 5
like value
and add the top 3 for
that's probably the move because
just smaller units.
Yeah, because I'll probably switch it and then he'll get like 4th, and then I'll be like, why didn't I just keep the top 5? But,
that's just the way this season has gone.
Sure has. Anything else interesting in here? Got some groups. Larson, Elliott, Truex, Busch.
Man, group betting has been really difficult this year.
It's been really tough.
I mean, again, they have another matchup, Larson versus Elliott, and Larson's only minus 102.
Do they have the battle of the Austins this week? That's what I want to know, because I think we could be on that. Me and you, show bet.
Oh yeah, Austin Dillon versus
Cindric.
Let's do it.
Okay, done.
Yeah, whether they have it or not, let's just. Yeah, they do.
Perfect.
Sweet.
You'd love to see it.
You want to take the juice on the bet? It's Austin Dillon minus 120 and Austin Cindric is plus money.
Sure, I'll take plus money.
All right, yeah, we'll keep it real like they have on the actual at the sports book here.
Yeah. Wow. I'm definitely not. I'd love to see how that line moves. We'll have to remember to check that on Saturday when we come back to talk DFS, update our betting card, and get you guys ready for the Toyota Owners 400 or 500. What is it? 400. Yeah.
400.
Kyle Busch versus Logano. That feels really nice for Kyle Busch.
I was just going to say, for once, the number in the race title actually fits, as there's 400. I think they're racing 400 laps. So
yeah. Finally get a mile-long track. Blaney over Christopher Bell minus 105 is going on the betting card.
I was just going to say that's one seems a little bit number. Too. It's interesting down at the bottom of the matchups. You got Denny Hamlin versus Ross Chastain. Chastain minus 105.
Oh. Briscoe over Harvick. There's another one going on the card.
Man, I almost want to go. Oh, Byron over Logano. I would bet that every day.
Where are you looking?
So William Byron minus 105 over Joey Logano.
Almirola over Suarez feels nice. Larson Elliott again. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Does this matchup say more about where Chastain is or where Hamlin is, or a little bit of both?
I think it's an indication of what we're seeing of Chastain of late. Because, I mean, traditionally, you would normally not see these two drivers pinned up against each other.
Correct.
Just by name recognition alone.
Do we have any head-to-heads over here? Okay, here we go. Truex versus Busch, Hamlin versus Reddick. Don't hate that. Interesting to see how much the juice is different over here.
Yeah, FanDuel.
So if you like Larson, come over to FanDuel. Yep. Okay. No F1 race this week, so no parlay. I did hit the outright there with Verstappen winning. Unfortunately, Kyle Larson did not come through for me to do that.
That was close.
But it was nice to hit that, so that was good. Brian, we are going to provide our best bet as of the Wednesday, or I guess Thursday. We're recording this a little bit later due to scheduling and stuff, but we'll obviously be back Saturday. Appreciate everyone who's subscribed, who's joined the jumped on board lately, mashing that thumbs up, letting us know down in the comments. We see you guys coming through. The numbers are flying up the board. We really, really, really appreciate it. Please keep doing that. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the thumbs up. Tell your friends who like NASCAR. Tell your friends who like betting. And come back and check us out each and every week. Obviously, we'll do the DraftKings stuff after qualifying. But with all that being said, Brian, one thing and one thing only. What is your best bet for the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond?
As we sit here on Thursday, I already kind of spoiled the surprise, but I'm going Austin Dillon to top 10 at plus 115 at FanDuel right now as my best bet sitting here on Thursday pre-qualifying.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think it has good potential, and I think that post-qualifying that could be minus 105, minus 115, something like that.
Yeah, it'll probably creep closer to even.
Yep. I'm going to go with a matchup, but I'm going to go Ryan Blaney over Christopher Bell. I love Christopher Bell. I think he has a lot of potential long term, but he just doesn't have it right now. I don't know what's going on. It's just by the time the end of the race,
man.
Yeah, the Toyotas are having issues, and I can get Ryan Blaney, a driver who's been arguably one of the best, if not the best so far, at minus 105. I will take that every day, every night, all week. Another number I expect to move pretty significantly between now and race day. So that's Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert. We'll be back on Saturday. We'll talk to you next time.